Hi you guys, my name is Cyan and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to Bookmas Day 3. So Bookmas Day 3 originally was supposed to be a reading vlog plus a video of me getting ready with you guys while I just yapped away. However, that video ended up being super long, so I decided I'm going to split it up into 2 different days. Today's Bookmas Day 3 and it's just going to be a reading vlog, and then Day 4 will actually be the get ready with me while I yap, and it's very interesting. But it works out perfectly because I actually was sick yesterday and I didn't film a single thing for Bookmas, so you're gonna have 2 separate videos. What you're about to see is the reading vlog. It's gonna be nice, short, and sweet, but it is what it is, so I hope that you guys enjoy it. P.S. I'm very behind on editing all of these vlogs because this is a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but you will be getting everything updated very soon, I promise. There's still gonna be 25 days. To get ready to leave for work, but I just wanted to hop in here real quickly and give you guys a bit of an update because I did make it 30% of the way through Pretty Girls by Karin. In this book we are following 2 sisters. They are named Claire and Lydia. 2 decades ago, their sister Jessica went missing. After that happened, their family was never the same again, so they did end up becoming estranged. But then someone that they know ends up being murdered, so they do reconnect based off of this, begrudgingly, might I add. And as it turns out, Claire ends up finding out that this person who was murdered might have a connection to her sister's disappearance, as well as countless of other missing teenage girls. Dun dun dun. So right now it's just her kind of keeping this information to herself. I feel like she doesn't want to get her sister involved. This person, the FBI, is like getting involved in their case because they were murdered and everything like that. So she's kind of keeping everything closed in, doesn't really know who to tell what. And she's trying to figure out, like, is this connection even real before she gets anyone else involved? And I will say this book has a very dark, eerie tone to it, specifically because the connection is made through videotapes. You can only imagine what kind of things happen to girls that are abducted. So think about what she could possibly be seeing in these videotapes. Anyways, I will just let you know that those gruesome details are depicted in this story, so definitely check your trigger warnings. And this one in particular feels extra eerie to me simply because it does take place in the state of Georgia, which is where I live, and it has mentions of places that I've visited before, towns that literally I grew up close to, so I was constantly over there. So it does feel extra eerie to me, especially too because of the fact that this is honestly a real life situation. Girls going missing and then terrible things happening to them. So yeah, it just gives it an extra little bit of creepiness in my opinion. I will say though, it is moving a little bit slow. Like, I know that moving forward, it's going to be Claire trying to figure out if this information is true or not. But like, in my mind, I'm like, girl, it's true. Don't even question it. It's true. It's exactly what you're thinking. Don't even try to investigate it. Just know that it's true. Something needs to click in there, okay, girly? It goes in between the point of view of both sisters. It's a little bit difficult at first to keep up with which sister is which. But what makes it easier is that they are 2 very different sisters. So we have Lydia, who is a struggling single mother. She's dating an ex-con. And then we have Claire, who she married a millionaire, so like she's doing very well off. She's like the popular sister, everyone loved her, she's very beautiful, yada yada yada. So it does make it a little bit easier to differentiate between the 2 of them. But yeah, those are my thoughts so far. I'm gonna get ready, read a little bit at work, and I'll update you guys later. So I have made it home. I've also made it about 70% of the way through Pretty Girls. I just have to do some chores. So I'm talking to you, we're hanging out while I do this. But basically, one thing I forgot to mention earlier is that interwoven throughout the story, we do get some chapters from the girl's dad's point of view. It's really like gut-wrenchingly sad getting his point of view. And they're also done in letters. So like he's writing letters letters to his daughters talking about his grief after Jessica went missing, and it just is literally so sad. Are you okay? I just can't get over it. So those I do really like, and I know you probably shouldn't look at reviews of books before you're done reading it, but I did look at reviews, and that seems to be the main consensus, right? Is that that's like the best part of this book. There have been a couple of twists throughout the story, and they are pretty interesting. They add a lot to the story. However, I will say that they weren't exactly super shocking based on how the story started out. And then both of our sisters too, I don't really feel anything for them. They're just kind of there. They feel very one-dimensional. The sisters are very different, but I really hate that the one that is the superior sister, she's doing better in life. She's always gotten what she wanted, has gotten a lot of attention from males. I really hate that it's kind of talked about like the reason she gets that and her other sister doesn't is because of her sister's weight. I just feel like we're past that narrative. Moving on, the story does still feel very dark and heavy, and something that I don't particularly love at all is that I told you there's some gruesome scenes about what happened to these women once they were kidnapped. We see it more than once because she watches more than one video, right? And I just think that one and done, it should have been enough. We kind of get the point. We know what happened to them now. There was no need for it to be replayed. It almost feels like it was done on purpose because I don't even want to imply this, but like one review that I read said that it was snuff porn. I don't know if that is true. I don't know the author's intention behind including so many graphic details so many times, but I am going to try to keep an open mind on that because I know that sometimes it's done to disturb the reader and to make you really, really, really realize just how gruesome it was and how realistic it is. And that's also part of the reason why it does feel so eerie, is because of how realistic it is. And it's funny because if you saw day 1 and 2, I was actually complaining about how unrealistic the other 2 thrillers are, but like now I'm complaining about how she's showing us too much realism in this one. The plot twists that I talked about earlier, they are unrealistic. It's like you're being unrealistic with the plot twist, and I feel like you should be realistic with the plot twist, and then you're being too realistic with the gory details. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts so far. I'm just gonna finish my nightly chores, hop in the shower, and then I'll probably finish it up tonight. So that's all I got for you so far. Okay, bye for now. Finished Pretty Girls by Karin. It feels like I've been reading this for forever, but it's literally been a day, and that's because this book, again, there were just parts that dragged on. The premise, it was very interesting. I did like a good portion of this book. However, it dragged on, and the plot twist, they were pretty predictable. Also, you really do know who did it and what happened to her sister pretty early on. It's just now a matter of fact of getting the person responsible for doing this crime. And one thing that I did not like in particular is that you do learn who did it, and it's kind of like our main characters versus the murderer. But what you don't learn is you don't learn the motives behind it. Like, why was he doing this? And also, why was her sister chosen? Why was she one of the victims? Like, why couldn't it have been anybody else? I feel like I just have a lot of questions that weren't answered. I also really, really dislike these sisters in this book. Again, they still felt pretty one-dimensional. They didn't have a lot of character growth and development. And at the very end, I don't know. Obviously I'm rooting for the people who aren't serial killers to win, but I wasn't like rooting for them to have a happy ending. A shining light was definitely the father's letters in here. And again, it just felt a little bit too gruesome. Like, I think a lot of that could have been left out. It is a very long book. Like, it's over 400 pages, and I just feel like it didn't need to be. There's a lot that could have been cut out of this. Oh wait, is it over 400 pages? 394. Close enough. And I'm going to be repeating myself, but another thing that again I just have to mention is that the horrific scenes were very detail oriented and very realistic, but there was just so much in here that wasn't. The plot twist, the girls' actions when they find out who the murderer is, and like there's a one-on-one battle between them and the murderer, and it was so unrealistic. And then there's the FBI and their involvement in this entire thing. It was just handled so poorly. Those are things that I think I'm looking for to be realistic. For me, this one, I still do think it was better than the other two that I've read the past couple of days, so I'm gonna give it a 3.5, but unfortunately, like, I'm all thrillered out right now. I feel like none of them have just hit the spot like I wanted them to, and I'm a little bit disappointed that none of them were like a 4 or higher, but it is what it is. That is it for this video, though. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out with me today for Bookmas Day 3. I really want to go to bed, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I just forgot that I had makeup on. Okay, so yeah, I need to remove that and then go to sleep. So that's it from me. I will see you guys tomorrow. My eyelashes now feel funky. Good night. Sweet dreams.